Welcome to another video. Now this one's a bit interesting because I've been waiting to try and get this guy best buddied, but we're going to give him a shot now. I couldn't wait. So we're going to be using Skarm today. XL'd as far as I could. I think he's about level 47 or 46.5. Air/Brave Bird, Sky Attack. We're going to be running in with Kingdra with the typical moveset there. Dragon Breath, Octazooka for that debuff chance and Outrage. And in the back, just because we want a little bit more fire coverage, we've got Swampert, and Swampert's going to be running Mudshot, Hydro Cannon, and Sludge Wave just for a bit of coverage for fairies, and so he can hit things like Dragonite a bit harder. Let's get into the games. First game here, Gengar on the lead. Now a little bit awkward here, but I wanted to test the tankiness of Skarm and see what attacks it could take. Now, his first move's coming through here, and we've correctly shielded the Shadow Ball, which is pretty huge. We can now throw the Sky Attack. I imagine they'll shield this. Now, it looks like Skarm gets to the Sky Attack just after Gengar gets to the Shadow Ball. So, second move coming through here, we're going to shield again. Shadow Ball correctly shielded again. Now, they've swapped out, and we were lucky we didn't throw the move there. And they brought a Charizard in. This looks like it'll be Dragon Claw. We should be able to get to the Octazooka here just before dying. They've got Dragon Breath on the Charizard there, so it'll take longer to get to the moves, but it hits harder with the fast move against dragons. Anyway, we've managed to get to the shield, which is pretty much all we wanted to do here, because we should be able to come in with Swampert. No, we've decided to come in with Skarm and hit it with the Sky Attack. Just didn't want to get hit with any more moves. That'll just about KO it here. Now, see what move coming through here. It should just be a Dragon Claw, and it is. So that gives us a bit of health on the Skarm. We'll drop back in, and they've brought in a Meganium, which is pretty spice. Now, throwing the Sludge Wave here, they should just about be at a Frenzy Plant, so I'm not sure what their play is here. Perhaps they're thinking, I can't throw the move here, and that's probably the right play. They're thinking they can't throw the move because they'll then feint down the Swampert, and the Skarm can pretty much just farm and then throw a Sky Attack on the Gengar. Anyway, they've brought in the Gengar here, but it's not going to matter. It's too low, and the Skarm should be able to farm down, and does. So good first match. Skarm showing that, it's got a little bit of that surprise factor. Going into the second game here. Okay, Swampert on the lead now. Looking at some of the sims, Skarm actually beat Swampert, which is pretty amazing. That's why an XL Skarm is probably going to be one of the big mon moving forward once everyone has the XL candies. Now, just got the shield there and went into Kingdra. They've got enough for an Earthquake here, so we will shield this. And we correctly shielded up. They've then swapped into a Venusaur. Now, they're probably not going to shield here because they know that we'll just come back in and farm with the Skarm. So we're going to try and hit it with the Outrage. We'll shield this Frenzy Plant. Now, the plan here is they're probably not going to shield. So we should be able to hit this Outrage and actually farm down before they get to another move, which would be brilliant. So it was probably worth the shield there. We've got some very healthy mons, and they've got Ampharos in the back. Now, Swampert's pretty good against Ampharos. This will possibly debuff it, and it does, which is great. They're going to have to throw here. Probably not even going to KO, and we should be able to Dragon Breath down. If not, we've got Swampert there to tidy things up. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this might actually be the match where I should have won, but the opponent makes a brilliant swap. Now, you've got to learn from your mistakes here. I've thrown the Hydro Cannon here. They've shielded that. Now, I go into Skarm to get the move, which is fine. They've got a lot of energy, and they're going to have to throw a few Hydro Cannons here to finish us off. Now, the big thing here is I've got a bit of energy on the Swampert. The idea is to basically feint down this Swampert, and then a couple of Mudshots should see off the Ampharos. But let's see what happens. So he throws here, had to use most of his energy. I then come in knowing he's almost at a Hydro Cannon. So he hits me with that. I'm at the Hydro Cannon right now. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, he's going to swap out. But unfortunately, I time it poorly, and he swaps out on the move, gets me. Now, comes back in. I've got energy, he does too. CMP tie. and unfortunately he gets me there. So well played by him. I cringe when I watch this game because I probably should have had it. I knew he was going to swap. I probably should have just kept mudshotting, and then I would have been able to mudshot down that Ampharos. Anyway, moving on to the next game. We've got Clefable on the lead here. This is perfect. The steel typing, resist charm, and Skarm's an absolute tank. So I'll be able to get the Sky Attack here. Let's see how they decide to play this one. And they let that go, and now they've swapped into Blaziken. Now, Blaziken's not a bad mon. We've decided to go into the Kingdra here so it avoids the Fairy. So it gets the Stone Edge away here, but we'll be able to get to the move and see what they want to do. This will KO if they don't shield. And they decide to because they want to get Switch. And I'm happy for them to take Switch as long as it costs them a shield, because I know Swampet's spammy enough and we'll get some energy here. We're not going to shield. Swampet's spammy enough to get to a couple of moves on the Clefable, so we'll just build up a whole heap of energy here. And what are they going to bring in? They bring in Clefable because they don't want to see the Steel type. I'm just going to go straight Sludge Wave here. First one they'll shield, the second one will KO, and that will shield here. We're looking pretty healthy. So this Sludge Wave that'll go through will KO, and that leaves us with... Oh no, we've swapped into a Slowbro. That's pretty interesting. We'll Brave Bird here. I hadn't done a Brave Bird to this point, so we'll see how much it does. Fair bit. I imagine we'll get to the Sky Attack. Thought it would actually do a little bit more than that, but we'll be able to shield here and get to the next Sky Attack anyway, and we're still well ahead on energy on the Clefable, so we'll be able to, as long as we clear this, we'll be able to go straight into the Swampert and Sludge Wave the Clefable, and that'll be the end of that game. Hydro Cannon will do it actually. So yeah, once again, got a good lead, and didn't even need to maintain Switch there because we had Swampert, and Swampert is a very spammy mon. Alright, into the next game here. Absolutely horrible lead. We'll have to go into essentially our safe Switch in Kingdra and see what they decide to do. Now, I assume this is probably just an Ice Punch. It's a Wild Charge. So that'll definitely take off a fair bit, but we'll be able to get to an Outrage here. If they decide to shield, that's really good because we've got Skarm there, and Skarm can just come in and completely farm this down. I didn't think they would shield. Now, we've got the option here of shielding ourselves, which we will because we'll get Switch. And it's worth it for the shield here because Swampert, being that ground mud boy type, resists electric attacks and is very spammy, so I thought we'd bring it in against the Electrovire here and see what happens. They're throwing the move. Not sure what they're going to go with here. They've gone the Wild Charge just for the extra damage. I've now got to the Hydro Cannon, so let's see what they decide to do here. They're going to shield, so it means they must have a bit of energy, and it's probably another Wild Charge. So I'm going to shield this and then Mudshot all the way down. They see what we're going to do and they swap out, and it's a Charizard in the back. We'll be able to get to a couple of Hydro Cannons here, and we do. That's just about going to KO the Charizard. They don't have a lot of energy left on the... this would just be a Dragon Claw, so we'll wear that. They don't have a lot of health left on either mod now. Should just be able to farm this down. And then the Swampert can go back in and just clean up. And they quit the battle. So GG's there. Okay, into the next battle. Skarm on the lead, and we've got a Venusaur. Dream lead. And they don't take any time going into a Charizard, and we're like, hey buddy, we're expecting you. Here, have a couple of Hydro Cannons. So got them on hard lead, and we've got them on the hard swap here. Now, this should just be a Dragon Claw. Either way, we won't shield, we don't need to. It is a Blast Burn. Now, I think I decided to try and Mudshot down here, and it's about here that I realise I've probably made a mistake. Not sure if Dragon Claw KOs, but I'll shield here, and I'll just Mudshot down now and commit to the Mudshot down. Should be able to get a shield on the Venusaur here, because I've got the Sludge Wave. They probably won't even shield. But nevertheless, we get them down pretty low there. Definitely within farming range for the Skarm. We're down a shield. That's the only thing I'm worried about here. Probably need to have thrown that Hydro Cannon a bit earlier. But we're looking really good here. Now, this looked really stupid for me to swap into the Kingdra, but the reasoning behind this swap was Kingdra is pretty much Cactus against both Mon, so I thought I'll bring it in, get it out of the way, and then we'll shield once here, and we're an absolute wall to the Venusaur. So all we need to do is get this Togekiss gone. It doesn't really matter what happens against the Venusaur, it can't hurt us. Frenzy Plants do nothing, and Sludge Bombs do nothing. Both resisted, so we just quickly get to another Sky Attack here, and all we need to do is get this down as quickly as possible. And as you can see, Skarm is an absolute beast. And yeah, they bring the Venusaur back in. They're going to have one go at trying to get some health off us, and I imagine they'll probably quit after they see what this does. Not very much. Yeah, and they've decided they're not going to be able to do much, so GG's there. Another good lead for us. In this one, Togekiss, beautiful. Love seeing all these sharpness around, especially now that we're running Steel Burb. Now they go into Muck, which is generally a good safe swap. We've gone into Kingdra here. Maybe Swampert would have been the better option. But we've gone into Kingdra just so it can avoid the Fairy. Now we're not going to shield the Kingdra. We're going to throw this Octazooka here. And essentially what we're going to do here is just trash the Kingdra. We did get a shield because they want to get Switch. But as we saw in that other game, we've got Swampert in the back. And if we've got shield advantage, we can get away several Sludge Waves and pressure them to shield anyway. And once shields are down, Skarmory is pretty deadly. So we'll see what happens here. Dark Pulse doesn't take off that much. It's been debuffed. We'll get the Hydro Cannon away here. We've farmed up a little bit extra. So now they'll bring the Fairy back in, and they're probably thinking to themselves, oh, it's great, we won Switch. And they're now probably thinking, oh, okay, let's see what happens here. And sure enough, Sludge Wave goes through, and we'll get to another Sludge Wave before we KO, which is all we need to do. Just get some Togekiss super low, and that's all we need to do. We've got 2 shields and Skarm, so essentially at this stage we've got it 1. We'll shield this just in case. Could be a flamethrower, and unless it's a hard counter in the back, which it's not, we should be fine. Now at this stage I hadn't really Brave Birded a lot of things, so I wasn't sure how much this would take off, but Brave Bird will pretty much one-hit KO a Dragonite. So just to be safe, what I do here is I build up to a Brave Bird and a Sky Attack, or almost 2, and then Brave Bird, and bang, one-hit KO on the Dragonite. So what do we think of the team? Well, I haven't used it too much so far, but it's winning pretty much every game. And as you saw there, should have won all the games, just made a slight error on one, and it was a great swap. But yeah, Kingdra for the safe swap, and Swampert to just cover against fire types. Thanks for watching, everyone, and hope to see you in the next video.